Hey everyone, it's Exoman. Just a brief video about coffee. If you're like me, you spend a good amount of money on coffee. I buy this just because it's really good, and I am into decaf now. So actually put mostly decaf in my coffee maker, and I use this to really give it the flavor and aroma. And so I don't want to waste my coffee because it's not cheap. And I don't like to leave it on the burner because, as you know, coffee becomes bitter and poor tasting if you leave it on the burner. It just really destroys the flavor of your coffee. So what I would recommend is what I do to warm my coffee up. I don't know if you can see, but there's steam coming off of that because I use a double boiler. And that is just, to me, a smart way to warm up a cup of coffee. If you don't want to throw it out and it's become cool, warm it in a double boiler. Don't let it boil, and you'll avoid turning your coffee bitter or poor tasting. So check that out. And also, by the way, I use in my coffee coconut milk instead of dairy. I'm trying to go less and less dairy. I almost have cut dairy out completely. But I use coconut milk, and I just keep it in a jar. I pour it out of a can into a jar. This might get all over the place. And then I pour it from the jar into my coffee. And it is actually really nice. It's got fats in it, just like milk. You can see the fat. It actually dissolves. You can stir that up, but it gives it a really nice flavor. So,
Did you know that coffee is grown in Central and South America, in places like Colombia, by people like Juan Valdez? Juan harvests his coffee and washes it by hand. He later lays it to dry in the sun carefully. The coffee is sold in the marketplace by people like Juan. It sits in the bins in the sun with its warm aroma wafting through the air. Did you know this? That's a pretty good Russian Colombian dialect, don't you think? Anyway, a couple of trivia notes. Did you know that Farm Girl once sold coffee? Yes, she did, for about 11 years, in fact, and made a really good amount of money doing so. She was a territorial sales manager out west when we lived in California and were raising our kids. Her father also sold coffee for, God knows, 20, 25 years. And I was weaned on coffee and chicory, by God. Yes, I was. This is true. Look that up, chicory. Chicory was a filler. This is dating back to the Civil War days, and it was used extensively in places like Louisiana in the South. But look that up. You'll find that interesting. You can still purchase coffee and chicory today. Cafe Du Monde makes CDM makes a brand of that. So anyway, thank you as always for watching, and enjoy your coffee.